Hello, everyone. So I'm getting a lot of questions on how exactly to do the PERs. Okay. So basically, how to sign off or get a sign off from your supervisors and how to record it from the supervisor's point of view and from the student's point of view, right? That is a question that I'm getting a lot on my Instagram channel. There is one more question that I'm getting is how to sign off the performance objectives, like the 9 compulsory performance objectives, how to sign them off. The problem of not starting a video with that is it has got ethical complications. See, whenever we are going to, show or exhibit how to actually record the time, claim the time with a supervisor. Basically, that has to be a relationship between the affiliate or a student of ACCA and the supervisor, right? So it's just not fair that I could show somebody else's work to you or, get into those internal or, non the gray area basically, right? So what I've done is I'm just trying to help you out with giving you a step by step resolution on how to get your sign offs done, right? So first you need to do is you need to log into my ACCA, and in your my ACCA click on the left side which says my qualifications. Okay, when you click on my qualifications you will be getting a new window or a new page that will open. In that new page, look for PER. Okay, and in PER, you will see it says in a red bar, it says launch my PER experience or launch my experience of PER. You need to click on that. Okay. When you click on it, your experience that you need to claim with the particular employer will come up. When that comes up, you need to put on all the information of your employer. Okay. You save that document, you will be directed to the next page. In the next page, you need to give the details of your employer, right? So like their email ID, if he or she is an ACCA member or not an ACCA member, etc. And with those details, an email will be given or an email will be reaching to the supervisor. Once the supervisor receives the email, the supervisor will click on the link given in the email and approve to be your supervisor if you are a student who is sending it to him or her. So that is one job that is done. Now, the second thing is claiming your hours, right? So after the process that has happened, you can again go into your My ACCA platform, same, your My Experience, and now you need to claim your experience, right? So for claiming your experience, you need to put all your details, which you have put in earlier also, and you need to claim how many hours you have or you want to record for it, right? It can be for a particular period of, say 1 month, 2 months, 15 days, anything that you want to record should be put up there, okay? And then after, again, one more email will go to your supervisor, right? And this time the email will be with more in-depth information about the particular hours that the student is confirming that he or she has worked under the supervisor. When the supervisor agrees to this is that time when the supervisor will also approve to the same amount of hours, okay? That is the process that will go on until you finish your 36 months of experience where you have claimed it on the ACCA portal and the supervisor has approved for it also on the ACCA portal. Now, the supervisor, as I said earlier, and as you must have seen on my Instagram page, may not always have to be an ACCA member, right? So if he or she is an ACCA member, well and good, they can directly log in through their own ACCA ID and approve your work experience. If they are not, if they are from any other accounting body, that is also completely fine. Once they put in all those details, they will be getting their own individual ID and password from which they can go to their portal channeled through ACCA. And then that is where they can approve your time. Okay. So this is how the practical experience side of 36 months will be handled. Now, the second step or the second part of it is where you have to sign off your performance objectives. For the performance objectives, I'm going to quickly open up one of my students' PER section and help you out with what you need to do there. So if you see this, I have opened one of my students' my ACC ID. So a big thank you to Arav for this. And on that, as I said, you need to click on your My Qualification, scroll down. Obviously, you need to finish your APSMs also. Here, you have to go to practical experience, your practical experience, and click on Launch My Experience. As I said, I don't honestly want to get into anybody else's, employing and this details, because it is always a gray line, or it is unethical to do that for someone else. So, obviously Ara would do it as his own time. But so I'm going to click on the skip, which is up here. And we come to the next page where you see the employment, obviously, because the student is, the student has not claimed any hours yet in terms of employment. This is 0. In terms of performance objectives also, the student has not claimed anything. So this will be 0 also. So I'm just going to click on view objectives. This is what I've already explained. This is what I'm just going to explain to you. Right? So this is where you come to your second page, the performance experience page, where you have 5 compulsory performance objectives to be fulfilled. And out of the rest of the whole lot of 17 objectives, you need to finish any 4 technical objectives. Okay. So I'm just going to randomly go into one, because obviously this is also something which Arav has not done. So, let's just randomly go into one and clear this up. Right. So if you notice here, now we are into, because I clicked on the first essential, which is ethics and professionalism. This is what it starts, or this is what it opens up. If you see, it has got what is the description, what does the actual essential mean? And you can read it out here. What kind of activities are related to ethics and professionalism? If you want to see, this is what these are, right? Also, there are linked exams, which are very important. You should know which exams are linked to the PERs that you're doing. So here that is. I'm going to go back to descriptions. And if you see here, these are the elements that are to be done. So if I want, or, for example, because I'm making it for everyone who is looking forward to do their PERs. For example, if you have finished your ethics and professionalism or any of these objectives, and when you read through the descriptions and, examples of activities and linked exam, etc., and you feel that, okay, this is something that you've done in your job, you will click on Start Objectives, which is starting now. Perfect, right? And you will be looking at what all elements have you done. If you have done this, if you have acted diligently, honestly, following the codes of conduct, taking into account and keeping up to date with the legislation, you claim for it. You click on the claim button, okay? And you do that for all the elements that are available in this particular performance objective. Then you have to write a statement. A statement is basically where it's like a small, it's like a, it's like a small, how do I call it? It's like a small example, okay, or an incident that has happened on the office area or in the work area, where you have ended up using your capacity of being ethical, being professional, right? So that is what that incident is supposed to be mentioned here, right? It does not have to be particularly an incident. Sometimes it can be a normal day-to-day work that you take forward. Like, being ethical is not an incident. It is something that you would do on every day, right? Or every time you take up a job, or every time when you're working. So you put those informations here and you save your statement, okay? Once you do everything that is ended up here, an email goes to your employer, okay, or your supervisor. He or she will run through whatever information that you have claimed. He and she would approve to it, okay? And once they approve it, that is when they, this this performance objective is taken as a complete performance objective for you, right? So that has to be done time and again. Like, so for example, if you have finished your 36 months and apparently you have finished everything that is required here, you can do everything together. If you have not done everything in one go, but bits and pieces of work has been done here and there, you do it as and when you have occurred that particular performance objective, right? So it is completely how your role is, what nature of your role is, and what kind of performance objectives have you filled up on this. Second thing, if you remember in my facts that I put up on work experience, I did mention that you can have 1 year of teaching experience, right? So any teaching experience that has been done by under a learning partner can also be taken here, can also be considered to be a 12 months experience, right? This information that I've shared here today is something which is related to how to record your practical experience of 36 months, how to record your 9 performance objectives. There is one thing else apart from this that you need to know, that if your employer is approved or is a employer with ACCA, right? Approved employer with ACCA. Then there is one more document that will be very helpful to you. Let me just open that document for you. So on your search engine, you need to type ACC approved employer and you just type PER. You will be seeing this approved employer PER confirmation form, right? So now once you click on this form, this is like a PDF form. I have just downloaded it. So I'm just going to show that to you. Just a sec. Right. So this is a PER confirmation form. Just yeah. Sorry. So this is the PER confirmation form. Okay. And this is applicable to every approved employer only. What you will do here is once you are into, once you are with the approved employer, you don't have to do a lot of, online work that you've been doing in terms of performance objectives. If you remember the performance objective that I showed you, which was on the portal, what you had to do is you literally had to, write the information and put the incidences, and that goes to your employer, and the employer then signs it off. And, it's like a process, right? If you are under an approved employer, what happens is you need to download this PDF form. You need to fill up all the information that is in, at your workplace, which is from the approved employer. And this is a part which has to be filled up by your employer. Okay, employer. Once you fill up all these details, this needs to be filled up by your employer, particularly by your supervisor, right? So he will go through this document and say, okay, well, this fellow has, this fellow has done ethics and work ethics ethically and professionally. He's had stakeholders relationship management, strategy and innovation, etc., etc. So this fellow will then, your supervisor will then sign off the signature. He'll put his signature, his or her signature here, and the date on which you have achieved the performance objective would be mentioned here. Lately, at the end, you have to ask your supervisor to sign off all the information and see if everything is correct. Everything should be dated and signed, and this document has to be what ideally students do is they take a printout of this PDF, get everything signed off, again take a screenshot of all the pages, convert it into a PDF, and then email it to students@accaglobal.com. You can also email it to info@accaglobal.com. In that email, on the registration, on the subject, you need to put your registration ID nice and bold, okay? And put your information. So this kind of PDF is only applicable or is only valid for approved ACC approved employers. For rest of them, whatever I told you earlier is the thing that is mandatory. right? So I hope I have answered most of the questions, because since I have put up the PER video the other time, there are a lot of students who have been asking me how to practically do it. And I was always thinking of, how could I help students in, getting a step forward to what the other informations have been given by ACC. So that's why I thought of making this video, and I really hope this is helpful to you. So all in all, have a lovely day, and I hope you all progress from being an affiliate to a member as soon as possible. Take care, guys. Have a lovely day.